Bienvenidos to La Bruja Espinada, and I am here with a very special Sturgeon full moon in Pisces message. So let's get started. We are also in eclipse season. Ooh. And this will be the final eclipse within Pisces that lands on Pisces. At the bottom, or the card that flew out, is the Page of Swords in reverse. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Cups, the Six of Swords in reverse, the Ten of Cups, the Five of Swords in reverse, the World, the Knight of Wands in reverse, the Queen of Wands, the Sun in reverse, the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Six of Wands in reverse, the Ten of Swords. I'm going to leave it there for the moment. I feel at this rate, if I need to pull more, I will. Eclipse season. Make sure you're wearing red. If you have obsidian, be sure to wear that. It is always recommended that you do not try to manifest during the time of an eclipse, because, and if you can, try to stay indoors. And the reason this is, and I said this before in the other readings, is that eclipse season is typically a time when, the best way that I can describe it is almost karmic. And in this instant, instead of trying to manifest for yourself, what you should be working on is righting your own wrongs. And holding yourself accountable for any part you've had to play, even if it wasn't intentional. And that's one of the things that's actually really important. It's good to close out any things you've left unsaid. But it's very interesting, especially when it comes to a lot of our swords coming out in reverse. I typically am someone who does not try to advocate for, actually that's not how I want to say it. How do I want to say it? Many times, especially when it comes to clearing up situations and holding yourself accountable, many times people, depending on what the situation may be, will try to find closure, request closure. Closure and that could be because some people want to get it off their chest for multiple reasons, either to hurt someone because they've been hurt, whether it's to try to understand, or some people want to get it off their chest, unburden themselves because they truly feel guilty. Some people will intentionally try to harm someone else because they have been harmed by that person or are projecting, and so they want to cause harm because of the self-inflicted harm that they have. There are people that go searching for closure. And that is not something that I can genuinely say, you know, um, I advocate for or support, because I think, especially if you're chasing it, if you want closure, you're not going to get the answers that you want. It keeps you stuck in a situation that you no longer need to be stuck in. Um, but that being said, and it is holding yourself accountable, even if you just need to shut that door, and it's not necessarily a closure. It's just, you know, um, just hammering that last nail into the casket. It could be that you just need to solidify something and be honest. There's no reason why you should still be holding back. Now, it's really important because this full moon in Pisces, especially because it's an eclipse, is a transition of fully letting go. And that's why I'm saying it has a lot to do with speaking your piece, but not necessarily for closure. If you're doing it to cause harm, remember, this is a karmic energy. Any harm that you choose to inflict, especially during an eclipse, will not bode well for you, energy wise, right? This is all about trying to cleanse your own energy. That's why you have to let it go. Whether it's letting go of a connection, whether it's letting go of a situation, whether it's letting go of something that just didn't pan out, whether it's letting go of an idea, a memory, whatever it may be, it's time to let go. You can be because you need to let go of what no longer serves you to step into the new, fresh waters that are coming in with the Sturgeon full moon. So, but speaking of accountability, unburdening oneself, accountability, what's really interesting is that we are starting off with the Page of Swords in reverse. Now, this can be taken a couple of different ways. The Page of Swords in reverse, and swords, again, is the air element of air, it's communication, but it especially is not being the word foolhardy is what wants to come out. Foolhardy, or being haphazard. Similarly, it could be that, let's say you were the one that was wronged, and let's say someone's asking you for closure, and you go and you say what you know you've held back just to give it to them, stick it in and twist it, right? And it's because you want to genuinely unburden yourself. Just be mindful that if you are convinced, if you're trying to convince yourself that this is the only way if you're trying to convince yourself that this is genuinely the only way that you can let go, I'm letting you know right now, because it's followed by the Six of Cups, that um, if that's what you have to tell yourself, um, I mean, this is just that idea of, okay, I'm gonna get through the reading before your big sis here is gonna tell you what needs to be heard. So again, foolhardy, haphazard, those are the key terms that are coming out. We have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups, cups being emotion, being water. The Six of Cups is essentially the epitome of thinking on the past and remembering that you should not stay there too long. It's good to think on the past, but it's that reminder that you can't keep going back there. You can visit, but you can't visit as often. You're wallowing in the past, and that's the difference. And the reason why I'm feeling a certain type of way about this reading is because then it's followed by the Six of Swords in reverse. The Six of Swords in reverse is that resistance to change. It doesn't just mean that, because you may feel like you have some unfinished business because you must unburden yourself and express yourself in that sense, because it has to do with the past, something in the past. It's, mind you, this is your time to transition. Just be mindful of how you're going to express yourself, especially at this time. Because we have the Ten of Cups. When you are resistant to change and you're thriving and striving for total fulfillment, total emotionally fulfilling your dreams, the issue then becomes you have to let go of that resentment. So the Five of Swords in reverse. You have to let go of that resentment. Especially, I'm telling you right now, the ideal thing to do now is to either reconcile or make amends. And I don't mean reconcile as in like, oh, I'll forgive them, and after like the billionth time that they've put a sword in your back. No, it's you can make amends and walk away amicably without having to continue being in someone's life that you no longer serve each other, and still wish each other well, because you still genuinely have that love. That resentment isn't going to help you. But if you must express yourself, hold yourself accountable. And what I mean by that is being honest. This could be friends, family, lover. Just say like, this hurt me. This is how I felt about what happened. And own up to it. Own up to it. And say, I don't appreciate that you overlooked my feelings. You didn't take into consideration how it would make me feel. You wouldn't accept my reasons, or, you know, vice versa, be like, you didn't meet my needs changed. Just being honest and quit holding that back. Remember, the sword is conversation, it is communication, and that is in reverse. And then, you know, it's wallowing in the past, feeling resentment, and the whole point is it's time to make amends, especially at this time. Sorry, I'm just feeling like very frustrated because I feel like there are a couple of people that this is touching on. And I understand the frustration in a lot of this, but anyway, your life is yours. We have the world. The world is the reminder that your world is yours. It is also a reminder that you are the main character of your own world. You are. You're the main character of your life, of your world. You are shaping the world in the way that you want it to be shaped. Harboring resentment, being haphazard, foolhardy about it, especially when you're trying to strive for something that's going to make you happy. You have to remember that you are the main character of your own world. But everyone is the main character of their own world. You are not the main character in someone else's world. You are a co-actor. And this is for every single person that you know. It could be your parent, it can be your sibling, it can be your friend, it could be your partner. You are not the main character in their world. You are a co-actor, a co-star. And just like they are not the main character in your world, you're not the main character in theirs. They are only co-stars in yours, whether they're A-list, B-list, C-list, D-list, whatever the case may be. But that serves as a reminder that sometimes, just like this person is doing here, they're looking at the stars. It's similar to a metaphor that I've used before of standing in front of a forest where you're looking at a tree, and in order to see the full forest, you have to take a step back. And the further you step back, the more of the forest that you get to see. Similar to this idea, you are the main star of your world, but in order to see the full night sky, you have to take a step back and actually look at all the stars and remember that you're not the only star. And sometimes it's hard, right? Because since we are the main character of our world, we forget that everyone's living their main character life. And a lot of the times, yes, some people force it onto you to try to make themselves the main character of your life. And they can't be. Everyone's life is very different, and sometimes we have to remember to take a step back and remember that we're not the only ones that are living life. Everyone's living life, and everyone's living life very differently. Now, the reason why, and this is probably why I'm feeling so frustrated because this is the Knight of Wands in reverse. Um, this card is pretty much the epitome of frustration. But it also is like incomplete thought patterns, a delayed project, or there is a delay, there's going to be a delay in something which may be causing frustration, or you were, well, this kind of makes sense. If you were in a state in which you're trying to achieve being the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Wands in reverse is that little delay to get here. But what also concerns me is that this is followed by, well, okay, it's not necessarily an entirely bad thing. We have the Sun in reverse. Now, again, this is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not the best. Well, not gonna be negative. I'm not trying to scare you. There's always a lesson to this, right? Things that we're trying to avoid. But overall, when we have the Sun in reverse, there is I'm gonna say a word. And I'm not trying to freak you out. Just be open-minded when I share this. When it's the Sun in reverse, usually this is the idea that there's happiness. There's happiness, there's goodness, it's that reminder that the sun will come out tomorrow, kind of a thing. But it's in reverse. That's not the worst thing, but it is a strong indicator of fear, worry, it's that thought pattern of being lost, but this is another card that also expresses repressed emotions. Now, this highly is saturated in like, I need to get something off my chest. And I'm not trying to dissuade you, because if you need to let go and need to find closure, whatever, you need to unburden yourself, you need to get that last word in, it all led up, all of this led up to the Ace of Swords right side up. And this is very important. And I'm going to tell you why. The Ace of Swords is an indicator, and it's what I've been saying throughout this whole thing, being mindful. You are learning a new way to communicate, especially when you're harboring so much resentment, so much anger, so much repressed emotion, so much frustration, so things that you need to like really express from past trauma, past hurt. You have so much in there, whether it's because you were kept from being happy, whether it's you've had to worry about so many other people that you weren't allowed to worry about yourself. But again, remembering that you are the main character in your life. The Ace of Swords is the learning experience of how to communicate. And it's imperative. It is beyond, I cannot express to you how important this card is in comparison to the cards that follow. This card is the most important, even though the main card that came out was the Page of Swords in reverse. The most important card is this one. You must be mindful of how you are going to unburden yourself, how you're going to make amends, how you're going to express yourself. You have to be mindful. Because again, as I was explaining in the beginning, there are feelings that sometimes some people will want to unburden themselves because, let's say, they were the mule and finally something happened that broke the camel's back. And there's so much pent up rage that you need to get that jab in to make them hurt the way you were hurt. You're followed by the Eight of Swords, the Six of Wands in reverse, and the Ten of Swords. That is all pain. That is all hurt. And yes, that is hurt, not just of what you have felt and what you're going to inflict, but if you are focusing all of that on just one person, there will be a fall from grace. There will be a fall from grace. What does that mean? I'm sure you've seen movies, because there's many of them out there, in which someone finally snaps and they express themselves and unburden themselves, that say something that's been needing to be said, and yet they didn't take into consideration the time, the place, and the onlookers, bystanders, because sometimes there are innocent bystanders. And that's where, if you are not mindful how you will be impacted by who is around to hear you, witness you in that moment. Eight of Swords. This is the fall from grace. The Six of Wands. Usually the Six of Wands is depicted as victorious. It is, but when it's in reverse, it is that sense of like your ego took over. Your ego took over. That is the fall from grace. And it's not asking you to be the bigger person, because maybe you're overburdened from being the bigger person, but the amount of pain that's going to be inflicted, because there is that sense of innocent bystanders, that, and your pain will be that much more, because you may regret the fallout. The most important card in this reading is the Ace of Swords. Mighty Fates, is there any additional lesson that you have for our watchers for this reading? What lesson do you have to reinforce? We have the Movement card. The Movement card. It says, physical movement can quick start major shifts in our internal and external worlds. While this movement can take any form. Keep in mind that the type of movement we can do can invite in emotions and experiences associated with it. Intense and vigorous movement can help us succeed our motivation, power, and fire. Slow and methodical movements can help us tap into our deeper feelings and is especially helpful in releasing, healing, and deeper work. When we move our body, we are allowing any stuck or stagnant energies within us to flow, bringing space for the new. So ask yourself, what type of movement do you need? How can you incorporate it into your day more? Animal spirit guides. What words of wisdom do you have to close out this reading? It is the grasshopper spirit. Take a leap of faith. Right now, you're poised to jump up into the next level of your life and move forward into something even better than you could have ever imagined. When grasshopper spirit appears, it is a fortuitous time to take a leap into the unknown, for grasshopper spirit represents the innovative spirit that says, why not? And has faith in the powers of co-creation. You are being called to trust that this is the right time to go with that idea, relationship, or situation. Take risks for abundance in all forms. Let me reread that. Take risks for abundance in all forms will show up for you. Wondrous things await when grasshopper spirit appears. You're not going to go backward, so listen to your intuition rather than your fearful ego that resists any change and clings worriedly to what was. Luck is on your side. Jump up and forward with confidence, for Spirit has so much in store for you if only you take that leap. Is it hard for you to trust in good fortune because you have been hurt in the past when you took a risk? Staying earthbound does not offer the safety you seek. For that can be found only through trusting that Spirit is always with you and wants the best for you. Your intuition is guidance from Spirit, telling you to let go of your fears and leap into the abundance and good fortune awaiting you. Grasshopper Spirit reminds you that the only way now is to jump forward. Can you be willing to trust the unknown, the great mystery that you can't fully understand? Even if you take the teeniest leap in consciousness to be willing, it's a beautiful beginning. Sure, every leap forward brings a new challenge, but you can handle it with Spirit as your partner, trusting that this new experience will only deepen your life with magic and meaning. Take the leap. I can't make this shit up. You want so much happiness. You want so much in your world. And you are striving for the passions that you've always wanted. And you can achieve it. But you have to let go. Let go. Let go. So, I genuinely, as always, hope this helps. And I will see you guys next time.